All right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Happy 2026. Welcome back to the Drayage Junkies. As you can see, you got the freight out here. You got Dirty Dray over here. We got a new guy down here. We're going to introduce him here soon. But before we do that, we're going to give you a little rundown on the show today. We're going to be talking more tariffs. What's going on with pasta? What's going on with furniture? We're trying to save some bucks out here. And obviously, we've probably all seen in the news the conflicts going down in Venezuela between them and the U.S. And we're going to talk about that and how it can potentially be affecting the trade today. So welcome back, y'all. We are so excited to be here with everyone. This is the Drayage Junkies. Let's kick it off.
Good afternoon, fellas. Happy New Year.
How are we doing?
Good. How's everybody? And Happy New Year's, by the way.
Yeah, man. We're rocking and rolling over here, brother. It's been a long holiday season. I've missed the shows. I've missed work. As crazy as that sounds, you know. Ready to get this year started, man.
Right?
I would love to say I missed work. I mean, I don't get time off like you do.
I mean, it's not like I got time off, but, you know, I'd rather be slammed than get, like, the occasional email while I'm just chilling on the couch watching football and I got to get up.
That did happen to me one day. I forget if it was Christmas Eve or whatever. I left to go home, took my computer like always, and by the time I get home, I got like 7 emails. The whole time I was at work, I got nothing. It's like, really?
Yep, that's the way it rolls.
Dang. Well, heck yeah. Well, how was y'all's holidays?
Mine was good. Limited travel, which was really good. So yeah, it was had a couple days to unwind, and the export business ran right up through the end of the year. So it wasn't any downtime for sure. So, but holidays were good. What about you?
It was good. Nothing crazy. Just, you know, spent some family time, hung out with the dog, did some traveling around south, you know. And now we're back in action, man. Ready for like I said, ready for the new year, ready to get the ball rolling, man. And you brought up mats earlier. How crazy is that? That's in 2 months,
Right?
3 months, I guess. But wild.
Yeah, it comes around fast.
I just can't wait to sit there and hand out stickers again.
It's a full day.
So we actually got the same booth as last year with Freight Ninja.
Oh, sweet.
Fantastic.
So we'll be right there on that corner. I don't know if we got anybody partnered up next to us, but yeah, we'll have the squad again. Hopefully we got the cops in front of us again, because that brought a lot of people to our booth. The air brake demonstration was a little scary at some points, but
well, eventually you kind of got used to it and it was okay. Yeah. But yeah, that first couple of times, it's like, what in the world is going on in here?
Duck, we're getting shot at.
Exactly.
Heck yeah.
Now that'll be awesome to hang out with Neil and the Freight Ninja guys again. Hopefully UCI will be close by, and, you know, Bain and his crew. And
yeah, I'd love for them to be next to us again. I know the mayor was talking about making a little podcast area in the back where it's a little more quiet, but I don't know how quiet you can get in that freaking huge building. That sound just travels. Like,
yeah, you're not getting quiet in there.
Yeah. But we'll see. It's going to be a rip-roaring time, as always. But, well, before we kick off the show, everybody watching, as you can see, we got Mr. Jimmy Durden below us, the truck it guy. He is our newest member of the Drayage Junkies. He will be joining us every Tuesday alongside me and Mr. Dirty Dray here. So, Jimmy, I know a lot of people know you, but for those that don't, go ahead and tell us about who you are, what you do, and why you're the trucker guy.
Well, for some strange reason, you guys chose to include me, and I haven't figured that one out yet. But that's beside the point. No, I'm Jimmy Durden. I am the owner of Red Rocket Logistics and the architect mastermind behind an app called AccuBid Pro. Red Rocket Logistics, freight brokerage, specializing in moving drays. I mean, that's really my deal. I have some people on my team who do some other things, i.e. moving, equipment, things like that. But what I like to do is drays. And as far as AccuBid Pro, man, it's strictly built for the owner operators, man. I am 100% advocate for owner operators, and the only way to help them survive is to give them the tools to do that. So that's who I am and what I do. And I mean, I don't know, been hanging out with you guys for a couple of years. So here we go.
Here we go. Here we are. Well, welcome aboard, brother. It's a pleasure. But yeah, no, dude.
Thanks for having me.
Number one, the reason we brought you on is because you're the man. Like, we had no idea you were a fellow Drayage junkie the whole time, but that's just how that goes. But also, man, Steve and I talk about Drayage all day long, and we can just sit here and banter. So we need someone to tell us to shut up, but also bring some great points to the table that we don't see. So
I was thinking of it more. I was thinking of it more to bring intelligence to the conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Drayage is why I have no hair on my head and my beard is going gray. So.
Oh, man. That's classic. Well, it's a pleasure to have you with us, brother.
Thank you.
We're going to do some big things this year. But, well, I guess we'll go ahead and kick off the show with the Trump delays in furniture and cabinet tariffs, and then the scales back on pasta. So the Trump administration is delaying planned tariff increases on imported furniture and kitchen cabinets for at least a year. Duties that were set to rise sharply will remain at 25%, easing near-term cost pressures on furniture, cabinets, and home renovation products. The White House says the delay allows time for trade negotiations while still keeping leverage over foreign suppliers. The move is welcomed by importers and retailers who warned higher tariffs would push prices up for consumers already dealing with inflation. Steve, you brought that up before. In a separate decision, the administration scaled back proposed tariffs on Italian pasta, cutting rates that had been expected to reach extreme levels. Revised duties are now much lower, reducing the risk of big price hikes on a staple food item. A final ruling on pasta tariffs is expected later this spring, and together the moves signal a more cautious approach to trade enforcement, balancing protectionist goals with concerns about consumer prices and supply chains. So I think that's a pretty good thing right there. Not getting too crazy. I mean, Steve, you brought it up before. Like, well, what was the numbers you gave on just building supplies?
Yeah, so the average savings that this just from kitchen cabinets to furniture to build out a new house, it's about $9,000 average on the average cost of a new house build. That savings with the hold on these tariffs, and then depending on how much lasagna you eat in your new house, will also bring that number up a little bit with it on Italian pasta as well.
They're saying that the tariffs on pasta could have reached over 90%.
Well, with the pasta tariffs, that just puts us all on a diet. That's all that is. You eat a little less noodles, you take a little off the middle, so be it. It's all well and good.
Yeah, I'm saying that's like when we hit the Chinese ones. I was like, it just keeps us buying from cheap, keeps us from buying cheap shit. Like,
yeah,
you don't need all that Temu stuff,
right?
Exactly. This is all just, it's very reminiscent of COVID, really. I mean, how everything spiked so crazy, and it makes no sense. I mean, tariffs and all that stuff have always been around. These increases are always going to be around. You notice them in things that are imported in very small volume. You notice way less in things that are imported in large volume. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you want to change tariffs and you want to change pricing, the consumer holds all the cards. They just refuse to use that. I mean, prices come down. If you stop buying, guess what? They want to sell shit. The price goes down.
Oh, yeah.
You keep buying at inflated prices. What's going to happen? The price stays up because, hey, I'm making more money. So, I mean, it's all relative.
Yeah. I mean, the consumer, we talk about it too, even in just the trucking industry itself, right? We talk about, the rates. When people talk about rates, everybody has the power to change it. If everybody keeps taking cheap freight, then there's no need to increase the rates. No difference here. You keep buying cheap stuff. There's no need, they're going to keep taking up. There's no need to change that until the consumer says, no, I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember what year it was when gas prices spiked like crazy. I mean, it was $4 and $5 a gallon. It seemed like everywhere you look and everybody's like, well, just stop driving. Well, no one stopped driving. The prices stayed up there. Exxon, BP, all them made their money, and nothing changed until the government stepped in and said, you know what, y'all are going to take this down. I mean, it's no different. If you don't stop doing it, they're not going to change their ways. So you can blame this on Trump. You can blame it on the government. You can blame it on whatever you want. But if you stop buying it, it stops happening. So.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The other big one too, right? And we'll dive into this one a little bit more too, but everybody knows about what's going on in Venezuela as well. And I saw this that popped up in the news as well, just talking about the the container port that's just in a mess right now. And it has been, I mean, this has nothing to do with the invasion, whatever you want to call it, that took place. But just, I mean, the port itself is just a disaster. You can pull that article up, IT Brian, for us. Scroll down for me. Thank you. You want to cover that one, Hunter?
Do what?
Oh.
Do I want to cover this one?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, man? All right, I covered mine. I'm looking at another article right now.
Okay. So the container facility in Venezuela's biggest port was left in the state of serious disarray when the U.S. popped in there. But the ports are key for rebuilding Venezuela. I mean, obviously, anytime you're around water, right, and you got a port business, you got to be able to have a working port that's not in just total chaos to be able to get these containers and these vessels in and out of there. So the cargo operation that normally takes about 4 to 5 hours now is taking about 4 to 5 days. So Jimmy, I mean, think of that, right? For our customers here, right? You got a vessel that's coming in, normally takes about 4 to 5 days to unload, right? And now, or 4 to 5 hours to unload those containers, right? Now they're taking 4 to 5 days before to get those turnaround on that ships. What would that do to your business here in the States?
You might as well just let me stay at home, because I'd be tired of getting yelled at, honestly. You'd have the carrier yelling at you like, where is everything? You'd have the customer like, why can't you move my stuff? And I'm like, I can't physically get it off the boat. I mean, could you imagine all the dots you would see on the ocean map? All the boats just lined up trying to get in the port. It would be mayhem.
And then think about some of the crucial stuff that's on some of these containers, right? And what would get, the businesses that would get shut down, right? I go back a lot of times to think about, we have a customer that builds a certain turbos for vehicles, and if those turbos, that equipment doesn't get in here in time to be able to get to those manufacturing lines, those manufacturing lines shut down, and then there's fines every time these manufacturing facilities have to shut down. There's always fines that play into that, right? So imagine expecting something on a Monday to arrive at the port to build. I mean, that's a car part. But imagine if it's a medical supply or something like that, it's supposed to be here on a Monday and it's not showing up till Thursday or Friday, and then the chaos of getting that out.
Well, imagine the amount of potential spoiled food and things like that going out on reefers and coming in on reefers, and just the chaos that could ensue from something like that is ridiculous. I mean, you wouldn't think in Venezuela. I don't live there, so I don't know. But I mean, it's a small place, so you wouldn't think operations could be that crazy. But
well, I'm reading right here. So the port it's still functioning, but like barely. It's holding on by a thread. But like major carriers like Maersk, they're doing limited calls, and like you're talking about, Jimmy, it's just like essential imports. Whether it be food, medical supplies, whatever it may be. But the turnaround times they're saying are just unpredictable. So they have really no idea. The yard productivity is super low, hardly any labor. Obviously, the equipment's very limited now. So now they're gonna have to rebuild a port while they're freaking trying to still supply their own country. But like, what's the closest port to that? Like, would there be countries connected to it that could potentially help supply them and all of this? Like, I don't know. I've never witnessed this. Like,
I know countries are connected to it. I mean, but it's what are the trade restrictions and conditions for border crossing over there compared to around here? And I mean, what's to say their ports run any better? That's add volume to their ports that already run shitty. And where do the trucks come from? I don't know the logistics of it, but I know that it's gonna make it even worse in the area. If the port is already running that bad, I don't really know what to do there.
Yeah, because I mean, I remember like there was one time when I was working international, I was trying to get something to, I don't know, like Panama or like Costa Rica or some shit.
Aruba is actually the closest port. According to this, it's 18 miles north.
Aruba, the island?
Right. So then you got to put it back on the water again.
Back on a boat. So yeah. Like,
hey, but I've seen some of those people get like 400 people on a little boat trying to get to the U.S. Trying to defect. So you could probably get a container on that thing and get it over there.
Yeah, I'm pulling up where this port is exactly. Let's see.
I mean, I remember when I started seeing port congestion fees here in the United States. So could you imagine what your bill would be if you were over there running them logistics? Like, you had my truck for 7 days to get one container sitting in the port,
So looks like there's 4 major ports within Venezuela. That port was obviously the one that was key for the oil industry and Western regional trade. There's Gunta. So you have that's industrial and agriculture exports. There's another one that's there. But that's the biggest one, though.
Yeah, here I'm about to pull up my screen right here just so we can like see where this is, because this is like, I mean, the countries that do connect to it, I don't even know if they would be able to assist really. I mean, so Venezuela right here, and then you got Colombia right next to it. So the Port of LaGuardia, I mean, that's smack dab in the middle, and then you got Guyana here, which I don't know. Let's check this out. I don't see any ports. I
would assume Georgetown has a port. I could be wrong, but it'd be kind of weird if they didn't.
Not what I'm seeing.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, they have like a little one right here, but that looks more like.
Where's Carbo? How do you say that? Carboba? Caraboba?
Where are you looking at?
I'm just looking at the 4 different ports that the.
Oh, here. How do you spell it?
Carabobo. That's it. The top one. That's on
right here. I don't know. It's not port. This one, Cabello.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the largest. That one right there is the largest and the busiest port in Venezuela, handling 80%.
Well, I don't know when that picture. I don't know when that picture was taken, but that's not very busy.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Like, yeah, that's like the most. The most I have in one spot. I guess I got some over here, but
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not part of that logistical nightmare, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't have hair already, so.
But see, I'm wondering too, like, I don't know, the holdups, because, like, we deployed our freaking Navy right outside there, so are they, like, stopping any of these vessels, like, do, like, customs checks on them and shit, like Dan Hendricks, what they used to do in the Coast Guard, like, hop on here, sweep them through, make sure there's no, narcos or anything crazy coming across. Like,
I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, if you believe everything you hear, they're just trying to get, bad oil tankers, but who knows, in all honesty.
I don't know. This is wild. I mean, here's like one of the pictures. I don't know if you can see it. I'll be honest.
Dealing with Port of Long Beach, California is bad enough. I couldn't imagine dealing with this madness.
Some of these pictures could be from Long Beach.
That wouldn't shock me.
I wonder if they do have any more pictures up on this. But yeah, I don't know, man. That's like, didn't hear about that in the initial news segment,
Yeah, I mean, there's so much out there that you don't hear about that's even bigger than what you do hear about. Mainstream media just wants you to know their narrative. That's all it is. And we could get on that go down that rabbit hole forever. But
so, Truck It Guy, how's January been kicking off so far for the 5th day of the year for your drayage enterprise?
Well, thanks for asking there, Steve. And I am just watching boats just sitting there. I'm waiting on containers to come in, brother. There's nothing I can do. I just twiddle my thumbs and keep checking, doing some outreach, always trying to expand. But yeah, just trying to calm the carrier down, like it'll be here, and customers like, yeah, it'll be here. And I'm like, okay, I'll just wait.
So you seen a lot of delays because of the holiday, or?
I don't really know what it is. I mean, it's been lately. Like, I'll have things, got a ETA of, we'll say, what was it, 1-2, and here I am getting updates today. Oh, this is supposed to finally port tonight. Like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, just keep me posted. I mean, my carriers are pretty reliable, and I mean, they don't drop everything they're doing for me, but they typically are kind of alert, like, when this comes, it needs to go. So I don't stress too bad. But yeah, I just wait. I'm like, okay, nothing I can do. I mean, it's not like I'm charging you for my wait time,
Man,
imagine
how much money that would be if we could charge as a broker, if we could charge for our wait time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would be outrageous, like I say. But our commitment is, give us the stuff. We'll follow it. We'll track it. We'll trace it. And as soon as it comes, we'll move it. And that's what I do. If I have an issue, of course, I reach out. But, I mean, I had to bill back some demurrage today, but it happens every now and then.
Mm-hmm. What ports do you mainly operate out of?
Savannah and Long Beach are probably my two main ones. I've done some work here down in Miami recently. I'm hoping that's going to grow. And I just did some in Boston, which was just weird. That was just different. That was one of those that was delayed forever as well. Like, it was delayed 2.5 weeks, I think. So
that's what I was going to ask you, if you've noticed the difference between like Savannah or the East Coast versus, out west, if the delays seem to be more out there. Fortunately, I mean, we've been pretty steady. We haven't had a ton of delays. We've seen a lot in the export line with them moving up port cut days and stuff like that, where they've done that here in the last probably month. But that's with exports.
Yeah.
What about on your import side of the business? Have you seen, does it seem to be different on the East Coast versus West Coast, or pretty the same?
It's really about the same here lately. I mean, typically you're off by 4, 5, 6 days on imports. So, and that's East and West. Said Boston that was the first time I was ever there. So that one was completely new. So I don't know if it was new to the carrier, to the customer as well. No one freaked out, which was cool. So that was nice. But yeah, it was probably a solid 2.5, 3 weeks of the carrier saying, hey, I'm not seeing this container yet. The ETA is moving, yada, yada. And I'm like, okay, just keep me posted. I mean, that's all I ask for as a broker. If you're my carrier partner, as long as we work together and both communicate, we'll get through this just fine. So
Communication's key.
that's the biggest thing. I mean,
So do you have a certain niche that you work in, or is it just kind of all over the place as far as product or I mean, obviously I know you're more import than export, right?
Miami is export, and that's food related. Here it is medical equipment and antiques. It's not necessarily a niche thing. It's customer driven.
Okay.
You know, she kind of gives me everything she's got and says, "Hey, work up a price. Let me know what you can do." I ain't gonna say I get it all, but you know, I give her fair pricing. And out in California, it's a mixed bag of stuff, rope and netting and just all kind of weird random stuff. And I'm like, whatever. If it fits, it ships.
Fits and ships. Yep.
We got you. We got you. So yeah, I mean. Now, differences East Coast to West Coast are pricing differences. It costs way more out in California. I mean, I got a lane out there seriously goes 22 miles, and it's just outrageous. And then the port fees and just some of the random charges blow my mind.
Port congestion along with a little bit of detention and waiting time. It's like, tell me how these things are different. Please tell me how these are different.
Yeah,
things. Last time I was running out of Long Beach, it didn't matter what day of the week it was, what time they were picking up. That port congestion was getting plopped on it. And I'm like, I can see the cameras, right? Like, I know what's going on. You're not the only carrier I'm using.
Dude, and it's clean truck fees for this. It's a fee for that. It's you got to make an appointment for a pickup. You got to make an appointment for a return. It's just like, come on, just let me get my container and go. I'm going 22 miles. Let me get my container and get out of here.
Yeah, it's almost like some of these carriers, like, and I don't understand. They just like make it hard, which I don't know if they realize or not that slows down their business along with everybody else's. Like, if you just freaking set a rate out, did some solid business, you could probably, hit 2-3 more containers during the day. Like, shit, who knows, maybe more. But yeah, like, when I talk to some of these carriers, man, and they give that accessorial list, or when the accessorial list is in their emails with the little fine red lines, and it's like. Then I'll just pop in the bottom of the email. I do not agree to your signature.
The first one I ever got back like that, I emailed back like, "What is all this crap?" I like, you need to explain to me what this, or this. I mean, so we don't have that on the East Coast.
This is not a legally binding contract. I did not agree to any of this.
I'm telling you. But I miss the price of doing business. It is what it is.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I thought that's like everywhere. So I used to do some rail dray up in the Midwest, and this one customer, they required an empty scale in and an empty scale out because it was like raw materials, like some plastics or whatever. So the shipper, we'd go pick up an empty container. The shipper had a scale on site, and then they get loaded up, and then they had a scale 2 blocks down the road. They were trying to charge me $200 to scale. And I was like, all right, number one, the scale's on site. Number two, the cat scale costs you $18. It's it's in the middle of nowhere. They're like, well, it takes a long time for them to get through the scale, and it just wastes our day. I was like, really?
No.
Like, I just got off the phone with them. They said there's not a single truck on the scale right now. Dude, I was screaming. Like, I had nothing else to do. I was on the phone with this woman for like 2 hours. Still had to pay her like $100, but I don't know. It's just like, come on, bake it in your price at least, so we don't have to split hairs. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's some stuff that just is baked in as on the asset side of it from a carrier side. I mean, we bake a lot of that stuff in there. I mean, there's some times where if they want something crazy out of the way, right, you have to do a little something in there. But yeah, some of these. But however, I also haven't had to deal with making an appointment and doing all that stuff and holding on to any of this stuff on the asset side of it. So that would be an absolute nightmare. To have, I mean, our schedule, especially with now that we've added Greer, the inland port, and it's open 24/7. I mean, shit, that's beautiful. Like, that's to be able to get in and out of that thing whenever. So it doesn't cause the bottlenecks because carriers know they can get in and out there whenever. But I couldn't imagine and dealing. You can tell some of the brokers too, right? And I try to remember that on the brokerage side of my brain when I turn it on. Like, you have to remember the difference in some of this when you're having that conversation with some of the carriers. You know what I mean? Because they have to. There is difference on that side. We had one of my regular customers that on the metal export side, they had a new supplier, new buyer, and that buyer, I think, really focused and honed in on the East Coast, where there was a lot of additional charges that came along. So even though the port here had it open to receive, the ERD was open to receive, the customer paid us to store it for 3 days, because according to their paperwork, the ERD wasn't going to open until like 3 days later. And they said that if we returned it too soon, they would get paid, they would get charged detention on bringing that in there too early. And I said, no, once the port shows that's open, it can go in. No, we'll get charged for it. And they've charged my customer before, the supplier has, when they've returned it too early. And so we loaded them. The customer still wanted it loaded. We loaded them and then stored them on our lot until the supplier said, yeah, it's okay to go back to the port now. So I think they were going off the date that might have been on the booking, the paperwork, even though the actual port opened it sooner. So I mean, people, both customer, everybody's so scared of all these different charges. But I mean, at the end of the day, they ended up paying a hell of a lot more with us storing this thing than if we had just brought it in originally. But it's just interesting, a lot of the fees and stuff that's out there.
And anybody shipping containers knows about these fees. They're not crazy. I like it. Keep it simple, stupid. Just give me a flat rate. Put your shit in there. I'm cool. Because I know the fees. I know if you're trying to get over on me.
Oh yeah.
If I have to break it down, yeah, you're not making an extra buck. I know the chassis in Savannah's $40. Don't tell me it's $45. Don't tell me it's $55. I know what the pricing is. So however you want to do it, you can try to get over all you want. That gets you cut out, but.
How's the wine export business been going, or import business been going, huh? With your Houston stuff operation?
Yeah, that's turning out to be a fun thing. I don't do that anymore. I don't know how, but like the customer ended up finding somebody to do it for like $600 cheaper. But here's the kicker. They're only running it from Houston to Houston. And dude, we had the biggest freaking headache happen the other, right before Christmas time. So they had this pallet or this truckload in this warehouse. Dude, this warehouse was only operating from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. So our truck would get down there to Houston to pick up this load, and they'd get there at 4 o'clock the first time, which they didn't release it for a week. I don't know how that works, but I don't know. It was a shit show. So, we're still charging them. I guess I got to break down the numbers, but I'm going to be looking at some different areas this year, like Jersey for sure. I'm hoping that we get our license in New York because that's going to be major. There's a lot of business up there, but might have to hop back in Long Beach too, man, because one of my customers that I just booked, they got they got imports from Japan, with sake and stuff, and then a lot of wine coming from Australia, funny enough, and still people are importing from France, Portugal, Spain, running it through the Panama Canal and bringing it straight to California. So
is that full container loads?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I bet that shit's heavy.
I mean, they can only stack so much in there because if there's too much weight on the boxes, they'll crush. So I mean, it's pretty standard weight. I mean, it's only been 22 pallets at a time. Sometimes they'll stuff in some boxes or some cases, but I don't know. It's a hand by hand thing. But we also had one container that came in where half of it was just cases of wine, and we had one dude at our warehouse. We got on our Wednesday call, and he's like, "Please, brother, you have to let me know if they do that again." He's like, "I can't feel my arms." But I don't know. I mean, it's all relative in drayage, man. You never know what's going to be in that container.
Oh no, you don't know.
Paperwork
says a lot of things.
And Steve and I talk about this too. We don't know what people are doing overseas, man. We don't know their regulations and shit. They're just if it fits in there, we're shipping it. You know, trying to get every freaking penny they can. So
shit, I had one go through Long Beach and got flagged for inspection. You know, it happens every now and then. They X-rayed. They went in it. That was first inspection. Then they assigned it to second inspection where they X-rayed it, and the customer has to pay for both of those. And all it was netting. I mean, it wasn't like it was, well, per the paperwork, what it was netting. It wasn't like it was something special, but yeah, they flagged that joker twice. It took me 2 weeks to get that container out of the port and an extra $1,000.
Yeah, customs is a shit show, dude. I remember when I was working for that international company and they were having the port strike up in Vancouver. One of my Canadian customers, they were like, we got to get this product here. We got to reroute it. So we went through SeaTac, and dude, like mind you, my customer was a freight forwarder. They had no idea how to do all this customs paperwork and shit. Well, the container gets here. So number one, we're like trying to figure out how all this custom shit works. Number two, like we had to get a bonded carrier with a bonded warehouse because it was like Canadian up to the US, and it was just that shit was a nightmare, man. Didn't even make $1 on it, but me and my freaking CEO were on the phone for 2 weeks straight. He read like the entire like this dude's like, I mean, he's a freaking like retired like nuclear sub captain from the Navy and shit, like wild. And he's like, Hunter, I have like studied the bar exam, and this is like light years ahead. Like the test for that, like I think it's like 3 books, and you literally have to memorize that shit. So I don't know, man. That custom shit is beyond me. But like, how are you gonna have to pay because they randomly decide to like flag your container, pull it aside, and inspect it?
Well, shit. The only saving grace was at least when they pulled it, it essentially got outgated, so it didn't have to catch demurrage at the same time. Like that would just been a double whammy.
Yeah.
So at least they were kind enough to do that and say, hey, this has not been left by the carrier. We've got it. We won't charge you for this. But yeah, it was $475 per exam. The one exam was literally open the doors and look inside. And they said, oh, well, that's not good enough. Put it in the line. Let's go to the x-ray. Oh, that could take 3 to 7 days. We'll call you when it's done. And that was another $475.
Where does that money go to? Like, who's getting that money? The government?
I mean,
the boards?
Where does the clean truck fee go?
California.
There you go. That's where
Gavin Newsom's pocket.
Thank you.
So in Savannah or even Long Beach, for example, when you have to deal with these, are they on site or do they have to get drayed out off site? And the reason I ask that question is because like Charleston, for example, is off site, and there's only one carrier that's registered or set up to move these containers to the off site. So you have to wait on them. So I was just curious in some of these other locations that you deal with.
I haven't had to do it in Savannah, so I don't know. Long Beach, it's technically on site, but it does get moved by a yard hustler that's owned by the port, and it goes on a port chassis. So then that opened a whole nother realm of shit, because then I had to do a chassis flip, because the carrier is not going to take the port chassis because they're going to charge them so much. And then they have to return that, which takes another appointment. You can't just use the container appointment. Now you got to have an appointment to return the chassis. So yeah, it was a whole nother nightmare, but technically it's on site because Long Beach is a pretty big port, but like pretty spacious port.
Yeah, that brings up something I was going to mention earlier. So Steve, the Greer port is 24/7. Why is the fucking busiest port in America not 24/7?
I know, right?
And they're getting lunch breaks. Make that make sense, dude.
Bro, they don't get people to come in and start working at their shift time. So let's don't go with 24/7.
And then they're going to complain about automation within the ports. Come on, let's be real here. Like,
I'm telling you, you know how many posts I see daily of what time do these guys start working? I've been sitting here for 3 hours. It's like, really? I mean, that's not port congestion. That is lazy. Pick the box up, put it on the chassis. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, and I know all the inland ports aren't 24/7, but I mean, that's been an eye opener for us. And I mean, I love dealing with these inland ports. And I know Charleston's going to be doing a lot more with the expansion of the rail systems that they're doing here. But man, it's got me looking at doing some stuff into some of these other ones. You know, I'll go to Atlanta and mess with some of those, or even go up into North Carolina. But I find more of these 24/7 ones, man. It's a whole different operation to be able to, from a scheduling standpoint, to really be like, I mean, we can send guys in there on Sunday to pick stuff up if they're moving it on Monday instead of messing with it Friday afternoon. I mean, it's convenient. It's really convenient. I mean, the only thing I don't like about the inland port is actually having to go in and do the rail billing. That just takes a little bit of extra time, and because it's not consistent across all steamship lines. You know, some of them are extremely quick. They get them done, you know, within minutes of us posting it. But then you got other ones that, you know, they say it can take up to 2 hours. In an hour and 58 minutes, they finally get it in every time.
Miraculous.
I was just going to put that up there.
He was going to need to wear a hat. Can't see anything but the glare on that dome.
I'm not listening to that guy.
Pedro, you're not fooling anybody, brother. You're not too far behind him, all right?
I am not listening to that guy.
So funny thing. I was on a video one time with IT Brian. I had my hat off, and as you can see, I got this picture behind me with a glow on the top of it. He said it looked like my head was on fire.
That's a beautiful sunset across your horizon.
Across my horizon.
His is by choice. That's what I would say too, Pedro. That's what I would say too.
He's so full of garbage.
You expect anything less?
No, I don't.
Hell yeah. Well, let's see. What else is going on here? Just a bunch of Venezuela news. So what are your outlooks for the markets this year, fellas? I mean, obviously we got tariffs on the rise, and well, I guess they're kind of teetering now. But what's your outlooks on the market this year?
I think it stays steady with some growth. I mean, the tariffs they're just going to be around. They are what they are. You know, people aren't going to close up shop because of tariffs. It's an adjustment period for everybody, but in reality, and Steve, this is probably kind of directed a little more towards you, but Freight, I mean, you're doing some wine. Does the tariff itself affect the transportation pricing?
I mean,
personally,
it could.
Well, a lot of things could, but let's be honest, the tariff on the commodity doesn't affect the price it costs to operate the truck and to get it to where it's going. Where we feel it on this end is once it hits the shelf, because then they're going to say, well, it cost me this much more to get it to you. But I'm speaking directly for what we do. Should the tariff actually affect the transportation of the product? In reality,
it could, because you just said it right. You feel it when you go buy it at the consumer level. Well, the asset-based owner-operator truck driver feels it when he goes to have that truck repaired, because the cost of the parts could be more. So it could, right? Because I mean, I know even from our the maintenance system schedule of our trucks has cost a little bit more because everything's going up a little bit. So it could slightly, right? But I don't think it's anything that would. The other piece to that too is supply and demand, right? So as if supply is there, and just like back in the COVID day when the rates skyrocket, if there's a ton of freight to be moved, it could raise it, right? Because now you got a lot more to compete with. Vice versa, if everything slows down, I mean, we've seen it a couple times this year where it got really slow and skeleton, and all of a sudden guys needed to move their truck. They needed to have some money in their wallet, so they started doing it for pennies on the dollar. And unfortunately, they weren't going to AccuBid Pro and actually seeing what their cost to run that vehicle is. So they were getting themselves into some binds, and and doing it for way cheaper than what their cost to run that truck is. I mean, we've got a mutual customer that we run the Charleston stuff for him. Well, there's another carrier that runs their Charlotte stuff for him. Well, that particular carrier ran into some issues because they do it dirt cheap. Like, he can't afford to use us for it because that guy does it for so cheap that we won't do it. Well, every time you turn around, that guy's truck breaks down, or he ran into some insurance issues. Like, he doesn't have that extra flow of money to sit in there to do stuff like that because he runs it so cheap. So I mean, there could be a combination of things that could change it for this year. I'm curious to see, because like I've told you guys before, my business shifted drastically this year from import to export. You've heard me say it a couple of times on the show. Like, we were 70% import, 30% exports the last couple of years. Well, this 2025, it literally flipped. I mean, 70% of our business was export and stuff. So I'm curious. I'm really curious to see what 2026 is going to look like there. Is there going to be more stuff coming in? Or maybe it just happened to be my particular customers that I have in the base I have. But I'm curious to see if that export business is going to continue as strong as it was in 2025, because that would be phenomenal. I'd like that.
Was that a big learning curve for you, flipping that hard over to export? I mean, is there a lot more involved?
No, it wasn't a big learning. What it did is it benefited us because I was able to utilize street turn a hell of a lot more. We do, because we do have a pretty steady customer that does a lot with imports. And then we had, a good bit of those containers that we were able to street turn over to our export side of the business. So I was able to utilize that a lot more this year, but not a huge, learning curve, because we've had that same customer for a while. You do, when they do December, I guess you could say, is when they started kind of pulling back on the cut days. If it was scheduled to cut, say, on the 20th, and all of a sudden, the vessel, the LRD pulled it back, and now all of a sudden it was the 17th instead of the 20th. You kind of got to scramble and change some stuff up to get those things loaded and to get them back in time to reach those LRDs.
Yeah, that's the big hiccup, I think, with the export side, is trying to make sure you get it into the port. It's got to be.
Yeah.
But you brought up a good point with what you might see with the tariffs. I guess in a lot of ways, are we ever really going to prove it's the tariffs? The transportation industry is like a wave cycle all the time, all year long. Prices being up, prices being down. Like you said, if it gets tight, prices go up. If it gets super loose, will we ever really know if it's the tariffs, or will it just be, this is the transportation market?
It's a game. Where's my magic 8-ball? It's over here.
Well, it's the constant balancing act. You brought up AccuBid Pro. It's kind of, you got to live at a margin. You got to say, I'm okay if I make 8, 10, 12, whatever I want my number to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to project that out over the long term. I want to end my year at this number. I'm not going to hit it on everything. Steve, you've probably taken losses on loads. Hunter, I know you've taken losses on loads. I've taken losses on loads, but I'm looking at the grand scheme of things. How does my end of my year play out? Am I in the margin I was hoping to be in? And that's how trucking companies need to play this as well.
Yep. Just got to shake
it's
up
like
that.
You said, if you want that permanent freight and you bid it dirt cheap, and well, that's on you. If you put all your eggs in that basket and kind of got yourself hosed. But
yeah, we had a customer back in 23 that we brought on through a broker, and we did it at that time. We brought it on during that February kind of March time frame when stuff was slow, so we did it cheaper than what we normally should have. And then it started becoming a little bit of an issue because now we were locked in with this customer, and we were having to, turn down some stuff that was a high rate. So at one point I went back to that customer and said, hey, here's where we need to be at. And they, we kind of met in the middle and took it up a little bit. And then they came back to us at the end of this year and was like, hey, we need to go back to where we were. And it was one of those things where we had to sit down, look at the calculator, do the math, and see, hey, does it make sense to keep this customer? And unfortunately, we had to give it up. Now they've reached out to us a couple times, and because they're new carriers, they've struggled getting it up there. So they've come to us and been, hey, can you do it? Okay, we'll keep our rate that we had before, but it's, let us know when you need us. So we gave up the consistency of it at the cheaper rate for more of a, hey, we'll be here when you need us kind of thing. But, you know, the game of, hey, this is X amount of volume, even though that volume could be good, you still have to know what your rate is, because if you're moving stuff at $1,000 and it breaks down to where you're breaking even on the cost to move that, you know, it doesn't make sense. The volume itself, it doesn't matter how much volume is there. If you're breaking even on all those loads, it doesn't make sense. Everybody works to make profit, to make money. We don't just work to go home at the end of the day saying, well, I didn't lose any money today. I didn't make any money today, but I didn't lose any money today.
Sometimes that's a win.
Sometimes.
But what do they say?
But you don't want to base your AccuBid Pro is not going to base your wins off of breaking even.
That's right. Well, they say nothing from nothing leaves nothing. I mean, that's not a way to run business. And it's kind of, you know, this might be for a later date topic, but I'm going to touch on it a little bit right now. Everybody, you know, is thinking the government has to step in and put limits on what a broker can make and limits on what a carrier can make. And this transparency's got to matter. And well, that's not American business. You know, Hunter and Steve don't get to tell Jimmy what his profit margin should be. If I want to aim for 50%, by God, I can. I might not win any clients, but that's a me problem, you know. And that's the America we live in, and the America why we started businesses, and the America we know and love. I mean, you know, if you're cool making 3%, good for you. You know, if you're the guy who says I'm going to make 25%, good for you. You know, I'm morals over money, #morals over money. I don't step on the little guy to get bigger in life, but I don't think anyone should be able to dictate to me where my gains should be in life. Mm-hmm. So
free market, baby.
Exactly. And that's where transparency really got under my crawl when it came out really big last year. Because just because I call Steve and say, Steve, can I get your truck to do such and such? And you give me a price. If I have to turn around and be transparent with you and say, and you see I'm making $300 off the load you're doing, you think I'm going to give you more money just because you see that? All you're going to do is wind up on the shit list to not use because you think I can't make money along with you. If you bid it and we agree on the rate, what's it matter what I make? You know? So
yeah,
that's why transparency, you know,
I get myself in trouble a lot of times on these load boards, or not load boards, these like Facebook marketplace boards, groups where carriers will get in. I'm a carrier, right? So, I mean, but I'm also see it from the broker side as well. But to go in there and have them be like, you know, broker bad. And, you know, they're making all this money. Transparency. To your point, nobody held a gun to anybody's head when they said, quote this for me, right?
That's right.
And when you quote it, you have to, it doesn't matter. I don't care if they're making, that carrier's or that broker's making $50 or they're making, if they make $1,000 off me, I'm getting it for what I felt comfortable doing. And I agreed to. Doesn't matter it shouldn't matter what if they're a better salesman than I am, it shouldn't matter what they're making off of it. It really shouldn't. Where I have the issue is when you get into these things where up front you're like, hey, you know, detention is this, you know, storage is this, whatever the case is. And then you have to, and you set it up front, and then you have to argue about it on the back end to be able to get that. That's where it can be a little bit different, right? But if you're up front with it and say, hey, here's what it is, and everybody agrees and everybody signs and everybody's good to go, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter at all.
I agree completely.
Making.
Yeah. Now you dabble in our world, and those are fees you should always be discussing up front. You know, overweight, chassis, storage, pre-pull, bobtail, drop, because we deal with these things every day. So don't act like it's a shocker when I come back to you and say, hey, here's detention on this load, or hey, I had to store this load. Don't act crazy. You know it's there, and you're probably billing the customer. You're just trying not to pay me. You know, that's the shadiness I don't like. You know, that's #morals over money. You know, the customer already knows everything involved, and they can pull the same paperwork. They know whether it was 2 chassis days or 7. They're not stupid. So that, don't be that way. Just be fair. That's all you got to do. Be fair.
I mean, if they want to fight for something instead of transparency, fight for consistency, right? I mean, I would love for them to put some kind of rules in there where these steamship lines have to play by the same game, because every one of them, seriously, I mean, every one of them does detention different, demurge, like they all have different. Some of them you can keep an empty container out for 3 days. Some of them 5 days. Like, be consistent with that, because that's what makes it challenging.
It would be nice.
I remember during COVID, man, I was talking to one of my customers. They're a big 4PL, and he was telling me like he had this contract booked, and he was, I think he was charging like $5,000 per container. Well, COVID hit. This dude was getting charged $25,000, and he was like, "Hunter, I don't even know what to do, man. But we have to go to this contract." Well, at some point, he was telling me that all the port directors in the U.S. were like getting together and working on some sort of case to go after these steamship lines. Never heard any word edge, nothing about it ever since. But like, tell me, yeah, a little hush money, or like, stop barking in our backyard, man, because you'll be out that door. Like,
it's no different than a lobbyist on Capitol Hill. If you got enough scratch in your pocket, you can make people look the other way. It's very simple. I mean, it's.
But I don't understand, why is the U.S. not out here? Like, why are we not building our own vessels? Why like, where's our steamship lines at? Why are we only dealing with foreign affairs? And then you're looking at places like China that have stake in U.S. ports. Like,
I think it's because we do way less exporting. So many other places don't take our goods.
Yeah, but we can be out there, man, freaking flying flags, running freight all over the world. Everybody
I agree.
I got a fantastic idea. PCT Logistics needs to be the funding operation, and Cleves Logistics and Red Rocket Logistics will build the vessels. If you give us the money,
I'll run it by TJ O'Done. I mean, we just got to make it make sense. Like, dude, it'd be so cool. But I mean, like, let's talk about that. Like, all right, where's Hapag Lloyd out of? What, Switzerland or some shit?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
How much are they exporting? How much are they importing? And they're one of the biggest conglomerates on the face of the earth. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. I've never dug into that, but
I've never thought much of it either. But you're right. I don't know if any of these steamship lines is U.S. owned. To my knowledge.
I'm gonna look this up right now. Are any steamship lines owned?
But I mean, these are rabbit holes we can go down all day. I mean, it's some of the most.
We have American steam. Even like APL, American Presidential Line, that's a part of a global group. The only ones we really own, we own Secor, but that's like military. Yeah, it's only like inland stuff, and then like stuff that goes up to like Alaska and shit.
Never thought much of it, but granted, I don't have the $2 billion it would take to build a couple vessels. But
I think it's like, what is it, Maersk and CMA? I don't think it's MSC. I think it's Maersk and CMA that have American flags. I don't know if it's all of them or certain ones.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yep. Maersk and CMA. U.S. subsidiaries, they major foreign carriers that fly American flags on them.
Huh.
So I guess, so we just have like some ownership in it. Because I mean, all those places have offices over here, but I don't know. But also, like those spots, man, like they're in like allied areas, like Switzerland don't do anything. They're everybody's best friend. Look at our Alps and pretty women. We like big boats too.
We like.
I'd still love to make a trip over there sometime. We talked about that before, didn't we, Steve? Who was that guy we had on that used to work for Maersk, and he like went and found like one of like the first bell from one of their boats? And,
yeah. It was what's his name from? Come on.
He's got Dadgummit. He's got like a really like unique name.
Wasn't it the guy from Dray Insights?
Argus or something. Yeah. We need to reach back out to him and see what he's been up to. But yeah, I agree with you, Jimmy. This would be something good for another conversation there.
I mean, it's kind of like getting into the whole debate about, lane rates and how accurate they are and things like that. I mean, we can do hours on that shit.
I mean, shit, if we want to really dig into it, man, we can get into just like how like ocean rates are affecting, everything else. Nobody's really keeping an eye on that, and those things fluctuate every single freaking day.
Yeah, it makes your head spin.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So never lock into a contract. That's all I can say. I don't even know if you can anymore, man. When those rates dip, man, that's when like China would be ghost booking out the ass. You could not get a container to save your life, and then by the time they'd leave like a couple left over, and then at that point, supply and demand, baby, you're gonna be paying for it.
You're gonna pay out the wazoo.
Yeah, that's right. But well, hell yeah, this has been a great first show back. Steve, how are we able to do this show today?
This is all thanks to our dear friend and friends at, I forgot how to do this actually. Now that you gotta go over the spot. Oh, there we go. Yeah. I got you. Our dear friends at Shoreline Capital.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and you've heard me. I mean, my love for Clint and his team over there, but I mean, we talked about the shift, right, from an import to export. That shifted a huge amount of my customers that I had to go to Clint and say, "Hey, can I get an increase? Can I get a credit line increase on these guys?" Like, you got customers that are normally doing, $20,000 a month for me that now, because they shifted so much. I mean, you're talking like $7,500,000 a month that I had to go to him and be like, "Hey, can we do their business shift a little bit?" Clint looked into it, came back to me and said, "Yeah, we can do it." So it's it's
come
more
on, Daddy
personal.
Warbucks. You could have floated that. You had it.
No, I'm good. I like using Clint's money over my money. But it's that personal relationship that you can have that conversation with Shirley. You're not always going to get the yes, right? I mean, he has to do his background work to see, but he does it, right? I can promise you my factoring company that I had before, Shoreline, that conversation didn't happen, or at least I didn't get a response as quick as I get it with Clint and his team to be able to be like, "Yep, we can do it." So you've heard me say it, I could gloat on them forever. I mean, they have made I owe it to Hunter and Rob. I mean, you guys turned me on to Clint and his team. They make it easy. And they treat you like family, and they just make it easy to do business and to pivot and shift as customers move around. So I could do a whole episode just on Shoreline again.
Coming from the business world, the banking side of things, and then just seeing how people are just getting ripped off left and right, man. Doesn't even do trucking, man.
World out there.
Yep. So.
Not the good people over at Shoreline. You see this logo up here. I mean, that is bright, shiny days, long roads ahead. So
just need Steve's head up there.
Hey, look, that's for emergencies only. All right.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Oh, well, good show, fellas. Jimmy, first show, man. How you feeling? Any exiting comments, concerns, plugs, updates?
Always plug AccuBid Pro, man. We're supporting owner-operators, soon to be a web-based version for small fleets. So keep looking out for us. Know your operating costs, or, you're going to go wrong. Other than that, I mean, I couldn't be more elated, guys. I mean, thanks for having me. I hope I can actually bring some value to the show every now and then, other than just be comedy relief. But, I mean, it is a true pleasure.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you, brother. It's like Steve said, you bring some intelligence to all of this, and you see a different side than him and I see, and just makes it easy for conversation, man. And I mean, shit, we just popped off an hour like it was nothing. So
I don't know. I don't know. I fell asleep like twice, but I'll be better next time.
You ain't got no more Georgia football to watch.
Hey, watch out, Tennessee.
Hey, man, I know what to expect every year. All right, brother. We didn't even. Best thing that happened to us is our kicker left. All right, hit that transfer portal.
I tell you, man. Hey, we
Okay.
can always be Alabama fans.
Right. We can all agree on something at least.
Yeah. I'd rather join an underwater basket weaving team at that point.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, Acubid Pro, Jimmy. You want to give a little love on that?
Acubid Pro, know your operating cost. I mean, it'll keep track of your operating costs, keep track of your profit and margins. It keeps track of the brokers you're working with, so you have quick connections back to them if you're needing another lane. It doesn't share your data with anyone. It's all privately owned. It emails it to you every 30 days for your records. I mean, life is good. It can't get any simpler to figure up your cost per mile, so you have no excuses on, this didn't pay me enough, yada, yada. I don't know how to bid this. It's all right there. Don't rely on DAT and, all these things to tell you lane rates, because they don't take into account your cost per mile. That's all I'm saying.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Steve, what you got, brother?
I appreciate you, Jimmy. I appreciate you you joining the team, man. This is fun. Hunter and I can sit and ramble about some dumb shit sometimes, and we get down these rabbit holes, and we talked, and we're like, we need somebody that's going to keep us in line, man, and bring us back in. What better person than Jimmy, the truck it guy? So now I think 2026 is going to be good. I think it's going to be fun. I think the conversations that the three of us are going to be able to have, along with some guests that we bring on as well. I think it's just going to it's going to keep the conversation going. It's going to change the game. It's going to help us with the movement to bring Drayage everywhere, man. And
sign the petition.
Yep. If you look around, everything you have in your office, half that stuff that's on that shelf back there probably says made somewhere, and it's not in the U.S.
It all says China.
Yeah.
Even the.
But I just want to say to remember to if you need any trucking news, both if it's about Drayage or just trucking news itself, make sure you go check out truckingnewshub.com. New sponsors for 2026. We appreciate everything that Upwell did and Road Dog Coffee did for us in 2025. But my own company, Cleves Logistics and UCW Logistics, stepping up to help us bring the news to the world and just bring it all in one place. Right? It's we don't create the news. It's great sources like Freight Waves and CDL Life and all them that actually create the news. We just bring it all in one convenient little place for you to find all the top news articles and read about it. And then as we visit our truck shows, we'll have tons of truck pics and truck stories from people like Bobby McGee and Long Haul Paul that we'll be able to share on here. So, and then obviously for the Drayage family that's here, check out the port cams. Right, we'll continue to add more and more campsites to it. But there's what we look like right now at Wando Welch and in the North Charleston terminal, live cams right now. So. We like to bring the news for Drayage Junkies. We like to bring the news for the lounge. Please check us out. Help support the trucking industry.
Trucking news in one trucking place at your trucking convenience every trucking day. Love it. So I was thinking, man, we definitely need to carry around a clipboard and get people to sign the petition. It'll just say the Drayage movement at the top, and we'll just have people sign it, and then they get free stickers. But
I was going to reach out to what's her name with DL, see if they were going to be at DCLI, see if they were going to be at Matt's. I mean, we got them to come to large cars or Star Stripes and White Lines.
Yeah,
see now we can get them to show up at Matt's. That'd be pretty.
That chassis, cool. Dude. We need to reach out to Philip too. I'm telling you, like, it might not be this year, but next year we will have a hammer lift doing live demonstrations out there, and by the grace of God, we'll have a studio inside of it. So.
Oh, that'd
or
be
just
awesome.
A chill spot. Hey, yeah, heck yeah, dude. Going live on the air from the air.
What about you, Hunter?
Man, I'm just pumped to be back, Jimmy. I'm so happy that you're joining us now, man. It's gonna be a fun year. We got a lot of stuff on the horizon. So it's you know what they say, man. More hands make for less work. But yeah. Anybody in the industry of brokerage, if you're a shipper, if you're just interested in refrigerated LTL and consolidation services, look no further than PCT Logistics. We are the heavyweight champions of the world when it comes to all of your premier refrigerated trucking services. You can reach out to me, the Reefer Guy, Hunter at PCTlogistics.com. We run all the 48 states, do imports, exports, trucking, warehousing, whatever you need. Don't look any further. So PCTlogistics.com, come holler. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wind down this show. If you're just now tuning in, be sure to go back, watch the show, check it out. Go find out who Mr. Durden is down here, the trucket guy. Go see what's happening in the world. If y'all got any news, be sure to reach out to us. If you want to join the show, holler at us, any of us. We'll bring you on. We'll shoot the breeze. We'll just kick some cans. But until next week, y'all be safe out there. Stay junky. Keep crushing those cans, and we'll see you next time.